Hey everyone, this is Steve Weintraub with Collider, and as you can tell behind me, we are in San Diego. The ocean looks great. Here's our stage. But let me stop messing around. Listen, I am really looking forward to your series, and I have so many questions, and I don't even know where to start. Okay, Holly, I'm going to start with you. How would you compare? I'm jumping in. Normally, I do some fun questions. No. How would you compare your captain to the previous captains that have been on Star Trek?
I can't. I can't compare. I can't. First off, they're incomparable. I mean, just starting with William Shatner, I grew up watching him with my parents. So I could never compare myself. I can't compare myself with any actor either. No actor or actress. It's just, we are each unto.
You know something? Let me rework this a little bit. How is she as a captain? Do you know what I mean? Like, is she one of these people? Like, how does she react to tough situations? What is she like in the chair? Because each captain on the show is slightly different.
Well, I think that would be more of a question for my co-stars. Yes, my co-stars.
I mean, I don't know what I don't want to give no. I mean, Holly's not a regular mom. She's a cool mom. Like, that's the vibe for real. Yeah.
I mean, here's the truth. Am I supposed to talk into this?
Yeah, you're talking to the mic.
Right. So we wrote this part for Holly Hunter before we knew Holly Hunter. And as we were developing it, because I am like an obsessive fan of all of her films. I've never told you this, but I'm telling you now. She just was the voice in our heads when we were writing it. And the fact that we sent it to her and she responded right away was such a gift because we had already kind of tuned our ear to it. And then we had this amazing experience of getting to sit down with her and go through all the scripts and read them out loud together, which was really fun because...
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, you got it's in your head for 3 years, but then you actually hear Holly Hunter do it and it all comes to life in a way that was pretty amazing.
But you could just call me Holly.
Or Holly. No, I'm just calling you Holly Hunter from now on.
So I'm curious, and this is a little bit of a dig question. I'll see what you want to answer. The thing about Star Trek shows is some of them have, their opening is music, and some of them have, words, if you will. So what are you doing for this show?
Are you talking about credit sequence, or are you talking about how does the show open?
No, not the first episode opening. Right. I mean, like the credit sequence. What are you guys doing for this one?
I'm definitely not answering your question, but what I will tell you is that it's super cool. I'm really excited. I look at credit sequences now, and on some Severance, for example, amazing credit sequence. And there's such an art to the process of building a credit sequence, and what you want to do is find what is that visual metaphor that then becomes the show in an interesting way. So I'm really excited. It's very unlike other Star Trek credit sequences, but there's something very familiar about it too, which is kind of speaks to the idea of the whole show.
Do you think that each season would be a different credit sequence, or this is the credit sequence?
I'm going to say the first 2 seasons are going to be this credit sequence.
So one of the things that for your character, they're releasing later today a lot of the character names, but I don't actually know your character's name.
Nala, okay.
Okay. I have so many questions. I'm going to stop. So one of the things about the series, I'm going to get to you guys in a second, I promise. It takes place after Discovery. And so how much debate did you guys have in terms of when this series would take place? And was it always going to be after Discovery?
I feel like I don't want to answer any more questions. It was always after Discovery. It was always the 32nd century because, and Steve, you and I have talked about this before, whatever Trek show you're making has to individuate. It has to be its own show. It has to have a reason for being other than the other Star Trek shows. And in the 32nd century, you're dealing with a post-burn world where trust in government has broken down, where the Federation is rebuilding, where people are divided, where there's all these major issues. And in Discovery, the ship came and started bringing the Federation back together again. And now our kids are the first class back in over 120 years. And so you have a generation of kids who are facing the mistakes of their elders or the issues that have been handed down to them by their elders and are now having to deal with it. And it felt like a very relevant topic. You know, as a father, I I see what my son is going through as he's about to go off into the world. And it felt very much like what our cadets are going through.
So I hate asking generic questions, but no one has seen the show. No one knows your characters. So for all you guys, can you sort of talk about who you are in the show and what are you excited for fans to experience with your character?
My character is extremely intelligent and driven and athletic, and she's also very empathetic and compassionate to her fellow cadets. And she's the daughter of a Starfleet admiral, so she's got high expectations placed on her, and it's kind of what drives her career at Starfleet Academy.
And she's very even keeled. She's got a steadfastness and a cool head that prevails. As young as she is and as inexperienced as she is, that is like it's so prominently explored in the show. It's what you're capable of, which is you feel kind of like maybe everything.
Yeah, you're like, what can't she do until you see what she can't do? And her failure is what sets her up for learning important life lessons.
I guess I'll go next. Caleb is... This is my first interview, so this is going to go well. My character is a bit of an outsider. He has grown up without institutional help. Unlike the other cadets, he has, at the beginning of our story, been disillusioned by the idea of Starfleet. So you get to actually experience his falling in love and coming to understand the values of Starfleet, community, working together for a common goal, connection. You get to experience those things and Starfleet Academy through the eyes of an outsider, through Caleb.
My character is a young Klingon at Starfleet Academy. That's the first time I've said that out loud, and it feels so good. I feel like I've been holding on to this little secret for so long. I'm so excited to play like a Klingon. Like it's iconic. So my young Klingon, he comes to Starfleet Academy, and we all know that like Klingons naturally are enthusiastic about battle and about war, but my character isn't interested in none of that. He, in fact, he has dreams of becoming a doctor, and he wants to save lives as opposed to take them away, which is very different from we know what Klingons are and always have been. So that's, that comes with him being labeled, a lifetime of being labeled as weak. So his journey throughout the school is hopefully a way for him to shed that weak label and really learn what strength truly means.
So something I know about the series is that you have, I guess, the biggest set that's ever been built for Star Trek. So I don't actually know what the set is. So are you allowed to say what the set is? And what was it like working on such a massive thing?
So it's not the only set built, like, it's the biggest set in North America, like, period. So it's huge. Like the first time we walked in, like, I mean, it's a real school. It's like multiple levels. We filmed on like not just the ground, but like, we walked up and filmed everywhere. And
can I just ask, so was it like at Pinewood or something and like a huge stage and then you filled that stage with like what?
We filled multiple stages in Pinewood. Yeah.
So what is this set specifically? Is it the school?
So by the time this airs, it will all be out. So I'll tell you everything. The school is a ship.
There it is.
And the ship,
because I knew there was a starship on the
ship
show,
docks on campus in San Francisco and stays there as part of the campus. And so what that does is, one of the questions everybody had always faced in thinking about Starfleet Academy in, prior iterations when people were thinking about it was, how do you sustain a show when kids are just in a classroom all the time? Right? And also, when we think about Star Trek, it's adventures in space and exploration and all the things that Star Trek is. And so we thought, well, what if you make the ship essentially a teaching hospital? And they go to school, and they can go to school on campus in San Francisco, but then they can deploy with the rest of the fleet and learn in the field with real captains, with real officers. So the idea is that you get to have your cake and eat it too.
Look, there it is. Because I couldn't put it together how there was a starship and like, I'm very happy to finally know
It's an official Star Trek show. They go to space. And they have adventures.
I completely get it. Okay, so something that's really interesting is that you guys haven't premiered, but you have a second season that you're getting ready to make. So I'm curious, Alex, what did you learn in the first season, especially learning like the actors' voices, and what did you learn making the first season that is now in the writer's room or, in the making of season 2?
Well, the first thing I'll tell you is that this cast to a person is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like to be able to sit in the editing room and go through every take and just go, everything is so great. Which beautiful meal on the buffet table would you like to eat? Because they're all equally tasty. It was so fantastic. And I think that what we love about our show and our characters is that they are not yet, with the exception of Nala, fully formed people. They get to make mistakes that Starfleet officers are really not allowed to make because they're still figuring out who they are. And what's really fun about that too is that some of them go in thinking they want one thing, but like everybody who goes to college, they may exit Starfleet Academy realizing that what they thought they wanted when they came in is not at all what their destiny is. And so that's a really fun thing.
And at the same time, the school is not like a traditional school because the safety net that kids who go to college experience, the safety net of Starfleet Academy is thin because they actually are in space. So the dangers are great, even though it's still like a total learning environment. And kind of an experimental environment. It's still, the stakes are really, they couldn't be higher. I mean, it's real life stakes.
So something about, and I know I'm just about out of time, but this is obviously a show that is not like Next Generation, where the way like each episode was its own thing. This is obviously all tied together. So when you guys were in the writer's room coming up with like the arc, how much were you thinking about what's our 4-year plan, what's our 5-year plan, and how much is it sort of season by season? You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, the beauty is you have to have a 4-year plan because college is 4 years long.
I don't know what it is in Star Trek land, but
4 years. But I think the thing that we found, and I would say that Starfleet is kind of the sum total of everything we've learned on all the shows, is that yes, there are serialized stories that take you from beginning to the end of the season, and that will carry into season 2. However, we really do have standalone episodes. So once the story has been established and everybody gets together, we begin to foreground certain characters as the lead of each episode. And then everybody comes together so that by the time you get to the finale, you know everybody very, very well. So it's kind of a perfect balance, I think, of next gen standalone episodes where there's a case of the week, or an alien of the week, or a diplomatic problem of the week. But then by the end of the season, you realize it all weaves together to a bigger story. And we're sort of doubling down on that in season 2, but that's the structure of this show.
So season 1 comes out early next year. I don't know when. They haven't announced it. Is your ultimate plan to try to have, assuming a success and you get to keep going, is the plan to try to have it come out every year? Because right now you're ahead of the game, which is very, very rare for a show. So, what are you thinking? Like every 12, 18 months, hopefully you can have a season?
Holly, what do you think?
Wow, I was just sitting here like going,
what are we doing?
yeah. I was very interested in what you were going to say.
Okay.
Yeah, and we all are.
Okay. I think that, okay, yes. Once a year would be great. We all hate each other, as you can tell.
We have 2 seasons. We already have 2.
We definitely have 2. We start shooting our second season in less than a month. We do have a plan for season 3. You know what's so fun, Steve, is that when you start breaking a season, inevitably you have too many ideas and you go, oh, wait a minute, this is cool. We should do this next season. And then you realize, I always want to like leave enough room to have improvisation happen, but know what pillars we're trying to hit. And we just came to the end of season 2. We're about to write the finale, which is kind of amazing. And it's exactly where we wanted to go. But when we started season 2, isn't exactly how we thought we'd get there. It's really fun.
The thing that I like, what Paramount Plus is doing, which is so fucking awesome, is they're already doing season 2. And the biggest problem with streaming is they make the first season, they see how it goes. Oh, it was a hit. Now let's do a writer's room. Now let's put out the show. And it's like 2 years between
later.
seasons.
Well, also, it's for us, it's almost 3.
That's what I mean. Okay, so I'm just about out of time real fast. For all of you guys, which episode of the first season number, I think it's 10 episodes, which episode number of the 10 is the one that you cannot wait for fans to see? And what do you think fans will say after they watch the finale? Spoiler free.
Well, after you watch the finale, you get the whole shebang after that, and you know what we're about. And a lot of shit goes down in the finale, so I think people are going to be blown away.
Thank God for season 2. Go on.
My episode that I would choose, maybe episode 3.
I was gonna say the same thing.
That
I was gonna say
that's
3.
gonna be really fun,
I think
right?
3 is a lot of fun. Yeah.
And it was that was really fun to film, so that'll be fun to talk about too, and see how the fans react to that one. So I guess I'll say 3. You'll say 3?
I think episode 6 is wow. That's a little mind bending because there's a terrible shift in what you realize the capabilities are of good and evil, of what's at stake. That there's an opening. It's a little revelatory in it because it opens a show up a bit more than you thought it was going to be. The opening was going to be that broad ranging.
I'm assuming Paul Giamatti plays into this.
He does, and shit gets real in 6. Everybody gets tested in a way that they don't expect in 6. And he's just like unbelievable.
Yeah, I was about to say while we're on Paul Giamatti, like I cannot wait till y'all see what this man does on this show.
He's amazing.
He is
Actually,
so
insane.
good, iconic. Like
It's almost like he's won an Oscar or something. Like by the way, I really truly, when he said he was going to be in it and you guys announced it, I was like, what the F is going on? Like, this is going to be awesome. Sorry, we didn't get your answer. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I mean, I would agree with the choices so far. 3 and 6, I think, are incredible. I'm particularly excited for episode 9 for reasons you'll find out.
Listen, I could keep going, and believe me, I have way more questions, as you can tell. But you have to do more interviews, and everyone at Paramount will kill me if I keep you. So I'm just going to say I really am looking forward to seeing the series and talking more once I've seen it. Have a fantastic Comic-Con.
Thank you.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
Thank you.